The Unbreakable Divine Liturgy. Sermon by new Hieromartyr St. Seraphim Zvezdinski on the Divine Liturgy. Today, my friends, I desire to discourse with you regarding who for the first time served the Divine Liturgy, and where for the first time it was served. In the heavenlies there is the bright sun of righteousness, everlasting, not created by anyone, self-illuminating and ever pouring forth eternal light. This sun is the Father. From this sun radiates the most luminous divine ray, who together with the Son is eternal and beginningless, and the Creator and Sustainer of all things. This ray is the Son of God. It is this ray of light most glorious, that lit a miraculous lamp on earth. This lamp he has fueled not with oil, but with his ever-filling divine and pure blood. This lamp, my dear ones, is the Divine Liturgy. This lamp has been lit by the very Son of God, the beginningless ray from the beginningless Son, the Father. The Son lit this lamp during the last days of his earthly life. It burst into flames for the first time in the upper room of Zion, in the hour of the fulfillment of the mystical supper. Such are who and where for the first time celebrated the Divine Liturgy. The Holy Evangelist and Holy Fathers described the first liturgy. Note, break in the text. He who was both sacrifice and minister of this first liturgy, the Savior, washed the feet of his disciples and sat with them. Further it says, Christ took bread. No, it was not only bread that he took in his most pure hands, not bread, but you, a sinful soul. It is you he took in his immaculate and most holy hands. Having taken the bread, he raised his eyes, lifting them to heaven, to the Father. He gave praise to the Father and showed him the sinful soul he held, as if to say, I take this soul and purchase it, not with gold or diamonds, for I purchase it with my blood and with the sufferings of the cross. Further it is said, Christ blessed the bread, and he did so doubtlessly expecting his death on the cross. He made the sign of the cross on the bread. Having given thanks, the Lord then broke the bread. No, it was not bread that he broke, for he crushed his flesh. After this Christ gave the bread to his disciples, proclaiming these words which are repeated every time the liturgy is served, Take, eat, and drink of it, all of you. Having said these words, Christ the Savior added this gentle, loving counsel, Do this in remembrance of me. This new covenant established by Christ the Savior has brought great joy to the lives of people. Tasting of the body and blood of Christ, people partake of the divine nature, because first and foremost the Lord has entered into the house of their souls. Human souls become the temple of God. Oh, what eternal and sublime joy this is! The first followers of Christ did not forget his commandment. Do this in remembrance of me. And behold, for 19 centuries the bloodless sacrifice has been offered on this earth. In the flow of 19 centuries, there has not been one day in which the Divine Liturgy was not offered, and it will not cease as long as the world exists, as long as this earth exists. No kind of enemy power is able to extinguish this lamp of the Divine Liturgy, which is lit by the very divine ray himself. Satan has stirred up storms. He has raised up the most cruel abuse and has incited raging waves of suffering. All of this so to extinguish the lamp of the Divine Liturgy. Yet he has not succeeded, nor will he ever succeed. With the coming of the Antichrist, a renewed persecution of the Divine Liturgy will begin. Once again it will have to be hidden beneath the earth, as in the time of the first Christians. But even during the time of the Antichrist, the Divine Liturgy will be served, even on the last day of the world, when angels shall gather all people to the judgment seat, both those living and those raised from the graves. The Divine Liturgy will be served, but it will be served in heaven on that day. My dear ones, guard this divine lamp, Love the Divine Liturgy. Strive to satiate yourself in this fountain of life. Consider the day lost when you are unable to hear the liturgy. The Church calls everyone to this feast of God, even those who are home due to need, mothers of families. The Church strives to remind everyone through the ringing of bells towards the singing of "It is truly meet," that at that moment, the dread mystery of the Divine Liturgy is being offered.